And what if I told you the secret to learning any language isn't textbooks or grammar drills, and it's something much simpler and way more fun? In today's video, I'm going to break down Stephen Krashen's theory on how humans acquire languages, the secret sauce behind methods like dreaming Spanish, and why they work so well. Hey, what's happening? I'm Zay, and welcome to Lingo Leap. After years of failed attempts to try to learn Spanish, the traditional way, I finally came across dreaming Spanish, and it promised that I could acquire the language by doing nothing but consuming comprehensible input. With over 550 hours of input, I'm going to share with you today why I believe this is the best way to acquire any language. Alright, so you might be asking, who the fuck is Stephen Krashen? But don't worry, I got you. Stephen Krashen is a renowned linguist, researcher, and former professor at the University of Southern California. He spent decades studying how humans acquire languages and how we can do it better. He authored over 500 articles and influential books, such as Principles and Practice in Second Language Acquisition and The Power of Reading. His work has revolutionized language teaching methods, inspiring approaches like dreaming Spanish, and this is what he has to say.
Now I'm going to share with you the most important thing I have learned about language. Probably the best kept secret in the profession. We acquire language in one way and only one way, when we understand messages. We call this comprehensible input.
Now let's make a critical distinction between learning and acquiring. Learning is active, like sitting in a classroom with a teacher explaining algebra to you, and all you do is really just memorize the steps so you'll be able to pass the test. While acquisition happens on a subconscious level. Think of it like swimming. You could watch as many swimming videos as you want, but you ain't gonna get anything out of them until you actually put yourself in the water. And here's the key. Fluency comes from acquisition, not learning. Alright, for stereotypical reasons, swimming might not be a good example for some of y'all. So let's try this one, riding a bike. Think back when you first learned how to ride a bike, you ain't sit down and memorize the physics of balancing or the mechanics of how the pedal work, right? Instead, you practice. Someone might have gave you a little help like training wheels or holding the back of the seat. You wobble, fell a little bit, scraped your knees, bumped your head. If it was anything like me, you did all of that because for some reason didn't believe in safety gear. But eventually your body just got used to it. You wasn't consciously thinking, oh let me lean slightly to the left, lean slightly to the right. It just happened naturally through practice. And that's exactly how we acquire languages. You don't need to memorize a whole bunch of vocabulary or grammar rules to be fluent, just like you don't have to study physics in order to ride a bike. Instead, you just immerse yourself in the process, listening, practicing, observing, and fluency just ends up being the byproduct of doing all of that. I know you heard me say that I'm learning Spanish through consuming comprehensible input, but what the hell is comprehensible input? Instead of me sitting here trying to explain it to you, I'd much rather show you. Check this out.
Hoy voy a hablar de cosas muy rápidas. Muy rápidas. Pues sí, cosas muy rápidas. Un coche, por ejemplo, un coche es muy rápido. Muy rápido. O una bala. Una bala también. Una bala es muy rápida. Una bala, ¿no? De una pistola. ¡Pum! Una bala es rápida, es muy rápida. También Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt es muy rápido. Corre muy rápido.
Now, if you understood the overall message of what he was talking about, maybe not every single word or every single bits and pieces, but you understood the overall concept, guess what? You just consumed comprehensible input. Input can be any form of listening and reading, while output would be speaking and writing. We acquire language when we're exposed to input that we mostly can understand. The key is to consume content that is slightly above your current comprehension level. It's like a puzzle. You're always adding pieces and suddenly the picture starts to make sense. Alright, so another key thing that I want to point out is, have you ever noticed how hard it is to learn anything when you're feeling stressed or embarrassed? That's the effective filter at work. Emotions like stress, anxiety, and lack of confidence can actually block your language acquisition. When you're relaxed, motivated, and enjoying the process, you're more open to absorbing the language. A fun, low-stress environment leads to better results. For example, watching a movie in Spanish that you enjoy is much better than forcing yourself through a boring grammar exercise. The key is to feel relaxed and have fun, like you're just hanging out with the language. Krashen Theories explains why methods like Dreaming Spanish work so well. By focusing on comprehensible input, I have been able to immerse myself in the language without feeling the pressure of being perfect. So what do you think about Krashen's idea? Have you tried to learn the language with input instead of the traditional method? Let me know in the comments. And hey, until next time, I'll see you. Peace.